this thing's hard to get within the whole frame in one shot. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Keystone with one that is long and strong and down to get the camping on. I think this is the 3915 TB Montana. Now this is not the Montana High Country. Let's clear this up real quick. The naming conventions with Montana RVs really mix a lot of people up. You hear high country and it sounds high end. High country is actually, I don't want to say starter member of the Montana family, but the first member of the Montana family. This is what I call the full Monty. This is the full luxury Montana right here. And this is something a little bit different. Full Montana doesn't do bunks. That's always been one of their self-inflicted rules. But this is a full 2-bedroom, full 2-bathroom with, there's overall, this has some really good execution. It has a couple things that make me go, really? But those are generally going to be small things. So overall, what you're going to feel in this is just higher grade fit and finish. Like the Lazy Boy furniture mechanisms that they're using here, like the mechanisms themselves have a Lazy Boy lifetime warranty. They're doing things above and beyond. There's more hardwood like it's not lumber core press board cabinetry. It's hardwood cabinetry through this. It's like people will get in Montana and be like, there's just a difference. I feel it when I touch it. I don't know why. It's because like the woodwork alone is already a category superior to what you often locate within the RV industry. Now, this is a very long RV, naturally. But of course, we have our stackable washer dryer prep. Standard triple air is a new Montana feature. The high gloss glass making a return. Good tires, good brakes, good suspension. It's a big RV that I think will be best utilized at a destination. But if you need to get it there, it has the equipment to help you make that happen. Now, there's no way in 2 minutes I can give you real justice on this one. So maybe pop the popcorn. This is big rig. Probably not going to be my shortest video. Buckle up, grab your hat, hold on, let's go. Now, it took me a minute to put my finger on this, and it's just one nerd's opinion. But I feel like this RV's greatest asset is its greatest liability. And I say that phrase a lot. What do I mean in this instance? Well, this RV is a full 2-bed, 2-bath. Most full 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, fifth wheel RVs have very poor living room experiences. Like you have maybe one couch and a dinette in an RV that could sleep like 27 adults or whatever the stupid number is. I don't know. They don't have enough seating for everybody that it sleeps. It's a weird mismatch. This one it feels like they focused first on nailing the living experience. I think this has, in my opinion, perhaps the best living room and kitchen that I've seen maybe ever in a true 2-bed, 2-bath. And I feel very personally, strongly about the Paradigm 395DS. I think that's great. There's benefits to any version of this floor plan I've seen, but historically that Paradigm has kind of been my personal nerd preferred favorite. I think the living room on this one is better. The bathrooms, specifically the toilet setups, is where I'm kind of going, on this one. But we'll get there when we get there. What are we looking at? First of all, big, full Monty, Montana is now factory standard triple air. You have 2 air conditioners that are ducted together, and then you have this guy, who's just a direct dump air unit. But look at the size of this living room cavity that it's in. It's huge. So it makes sense that all of that extra cooling power is dedicated exclusively here, while the central air units also work to provide air for the bedrooms and bathrooms. I guess plural, it's weird to say it that way. This thing, because it has that huge loft up top, they went with max size slides. Like I don't have the measurement over here. I think that's like 7.5, threatening to be 8 foot tall in that slide, where they were able to put some very sizable, actual significant cabinetry over top of big windows. Usually you have to choose either big windows or storage, and they've done and instead of or, and as you can see from the little flapper hanging down there, they're also working to provide you with better furniture. I think Montana has a sort of exclusivity with Lazy Boy, and they, like the mechanisms and stuff, the skin coverings on their seatings are just a higher grade from what you normally find. Now, I love the entertainment setup and design on this, because like it doesn't matter where I'm sitting. It doesn't matter if I'm standing in the kitchen. Everyone is still part of the action. In a lot of RVs, if you are the campsite cook, you take one for the team every time you get up to prepare a meal, and you get left out of the entertainment. You don't have that hiccup here. Now this table, I'm not, something felt off to me on it. Now, first of all, you can see the little extension leaf popped out, which if you're going to use all 4 chairs, you absolutely want. And I'm going to because Montana's fit and finish is normally just, sorry, just literally choked on nothing. That's not normal for Montana. I think there's a problem with how this specific table is installed. I don't think you'll see this on all the Montanas. I could be wrong. Double check that. But I think maybe there was a substitution part supplier. Maybe a new guy installed the table. I don't know. But I don't normally see that wiggle crap come out of Montana. They're normally a very, very solid brand. Getting this out of the way here, what is kind of cool is you see that there's actually the extension leaf is a little bonus drawer down here. So keeping some utensils and whatnot handy dandy is pretty darn easy. But once again, if you're going to sit everybody at that table, you really have to extend that sucker out. The campsite window coverage on this is not maximal because we also have kitchen appliances on the door side. But it's not terrible. You've got some decent window coverage there. That is all hardwood framed out, by the way. And I'm going to give you just kind of a slow 360 of things before we start going into the loft and the bedrooms. We'll come back and open all the kitchen storage on the way back through. This kitchen arrangement, though, notice how I started by looking at the pantry. Like, a lot of people look at just that section, that L-shaped section right there, and they feel like maybe the kitchen's lacking a little bit. It's a walk-through middle kitchen. But the thing is, like, it's a wraparound kitchen. When you are in here doing cooking, doing prep works, all the storage, all the counter space, all solid surface stuff wraps all the way around you. It's very functional, very effective. I like it very, very much, as you can tell by my complimentary speaking patterns here. This is the heat massage, the theater, all the things. It is obviously population controlling with that hard fixed armrest in the middle there. But again, a little higher grade of furniture going on. Opposing floor flush super slides. All the slides here on the main deck are rack and pinion floor flush. Now let's talk refrigerators, because you have a couple different choices. By default, this RV has a very large residential refrigerator. When you go with that fridge, it will auto default the RV to include a 2,000 watt inverter, regardless of whatever solar package is present. Now, the upgraded solar packages may expand on that, but you'll always have at least a 2,000 watt inverter. If you go with the optional 12 volt fridge, you'll get rid of the inverter, but and gain a 12 volt fridge, but you can regain the inverter by potentially going with one of the more advanced solar packages. I'll tell you what I want to do here. I'm actually going to sit at this theater seat. Oh, good. I'm sitting down backwards and blind. I was hoping I didn't put that armrest right up the keister, you know. Hey, I heard you stuffed the armrest in the old prison wallet there. No, thank you. That TV can pivot around for easy viewing. Something I thought was interesting. If you look at this ladder, in the middle of it over here, there's this like black thing. It's actually like a tension band holdback, because this ladder sort of looks like, you know, those libraries that have the like rolling ladder things? This ladder can move. I don't know why it would need to. I'm not sure what the benefit is. Why would the ladder's perfectly functional in its existing location? Why would I need the ladder to slide over the second bedroom door? I don't see the benefit myself. Maybe there's a factor there I'm missing. I am very hot and becoming dehydrated by the second as I record this. It's a little detail, but that actually is padded as you're like, because your knees are going to be on that when you're doing that like transition. But notice how the loft is actually kind of inset. I wasn't expecting that. Usually when you climb up here, the loft is just all one level. They actually dropped the loft down to give you more room up here. I thought that was kind of cool, you know? And if you're going to use it for just cargo space, which is how most people use most lofts, It'll help keep that cargo in check, especially if you're towing and bouncing down the road. Now, little details. Montana's always been good at the touches. That's what's always defined them and separated them. But the magnet holdback on this door right here, just so it doesn't smash against the entertainment center, just little details like that are nice. Now, from here, the bedrooms and bathrooms get kind of tight on camera. They're definitely more open and easy to see to the naked eye. But because I have to stick the camera an arm's length in front of me, and I don't use a wide-angle lens, everything looks very bossy. Now, this is a 60 by 80 true queen down here. I've had so many people, every time I look at a 2-bed, 2-bath, they will always ask me, is there an option for a desk instead of this? And there's not, although that would be cool. If I look over here, though, I think I can explain to you why there isn't necessarily. Because you think that bed goes all the way down to the floor. It doesn't. If you look at this slide, the slide actually hovers above the floor. Your main deck of the RV, they're floor flush slides. Your 2 beds slides are not floor flush slides. So if you tried to put a desk in that, your feet wouldn't have anywhere to go, if you can try to picture that a little bit. Now, again, this bedroom is a little bit tricky in just the sization of it. And I'm gonna I tell you what, here, I'm gonna lay down in the bed. I'm gonna give you a bed forward view. Notice how direct we're looking at that television right there. Did you notice when we walked in how downward angled it was? They make this very easy to see. And most of the time when we look at these 2-bed, 2-bathroom models, you usually get very little closet space. I'm not telling you that's like a front massive closet, but for a secondary bedroom, it's not terrible. I don't think it's terrible at all. I like that little dresser stand right there. Plenty of dresser drawer action going on. Hidden hinge cabinetry, magnet holdbacks. And again, just a higher grade of cabinet construction overall. But what do I mean by that? I want to teach you how to fish. If you want to know how an RV's cabinetry is constructed, put your phone in selfie mode and stick it up inside the cabinets. If you look, you see that right there? You see how that is all wood. No sticker wrap. No particle board. No nothing. This is all true stained hardwood construction. This used to be more common in the industry, but more and more brands have quit doing this because they can give you cabinetry that generally looks the same, but costs less. And if the cabinetry costs less and you don't know any different, as a buyer, you're like, well, they look the same. I'll just go with the one that's less expensive. So Montana has made a significant investment in the quality of the cabinetry in this thing that not every manufacturer does. Very few nowadays. In fact, that right there is a major differentiating factor. And that stuff, that's heavy cabinetry as a result. And that's not just in this room. That's, of course, every room of the RV. Oh, how do I want to go about this bathroom? These bathrooms, these 2-bed, 2-bath things are very tricky. So first of all, one of the things I noticed is that it's dual full fiberglass enclosures in this bathroom. Also, I mean, if I look straight up here, it just keeps going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. To give you a size reference point, on the right side of the screen, there's me standing in the shower. And you notice how I literally can't even touch the ceiling in this thing. Well, don't get me wrong. I don't have a great vertical leap, but I don't think even if I jumped, I could fingertip that sucker. I'm about to point you. One house fly in this building has been harassing me for 2 days. I know it's the same fly because he told me his name's Harold. I don't know it's the same fly, but you get the idea. One fly has been bugging me for a while. Like the kitchen, both bathrooms all get those big XL fans. I do like this mirror here. It's a very cool, I like this oval track kind of shaped little Keystone logo built into it. Being mounted beside the sink is a little odd. I don't know, but I can kind of deal with it. Now, I have to give you a reference point. I have literally walked my backside out of the RV right here. And this rear bathroom door does have a deadbolt, by the way. It is a very easy travel access bathroom, which is nice. Space around the toilet here. Obviously, we have floor ducted heating right next to that, and right next to the toilet as well, which I know some people don't love. Again, it's just going to be real about what the RV has and doesn't have. You might have noticed, though, the elbow room around that toilet, I wasn't in love with it. The same thing's going to happen up in the front bedroom or bathroom. And I am kind of shocked to see that these bathrooms have reverted to a thermal foil counter. And the reason I say that is even a Cougar, which is in theory 2 trim levels below this RV, maintains solid surface in the bathroom. So, and Cougars include privacy shade in the entry doors that this doesn't. So there were a couple things there that I was kind of like, wow, really? But they do the bigger vent fans. They do the higher grade cabinetry. It's like, don't get me wrong. Montana does some gorgeous, wonderful things. They just don't always do all the widgets and things I was thinking about. Now, I want to bust you through this kitchen over here, but it occurs to me we have I think we have a little bit different variety of hide-a-bed here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the exact same hide-a-bed we've seen 100 other times. Let's find out. Look at this. I peeled off this cushion, and this guy's like, oh, I'm a hide-a-bed. Come on in. I think there was just a smidge of SpongeBob in that. I don't know. So this appears to be a more traditional tri-fold memory foam style sleeper sofa. I thought I'd go ahead and open up all the things, though. Show you around all the storage here. Hard to give you a size reference when I can't reach up there and physically reach it. So maybe bring a banana with you when you shop for an RV and check that out in person. I don't know. Working our way around. This is what I was saying. These... Oh, that fly is back. I'm going to kill it. Sorry. I lose my cool when a fly gets near my face. Convection microwave. This is what I was saying, though. This kitchen has a crazy amount of cabinetry and counter space all the way around us here. Like loaded, loaded, loaded. Now, down below here, it looks like I didn't open one of the cabinets. That's because you have your converter fuse box actually built in behind that, but accessible right in front of the door, right when the slide closes. And then down below it, we have our central vacuum with the electric dustpan. You literally just flick that thing up with your toe. The Suckerator 9000 kicks on, and off you go. The drawer space here, we only have 2 drawers in this kitchen now that I look at it, but I don't know, maybe enough. I was expecting a little more. I would probably slide the wastebasket down there myself. These 5-piece smart sinks, can I ask, does anybody care? Like, they first came out last year, and everybody was like, wow, 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 wow. So a bunch of RV brands adopted them. Maybe it was 2 years ago. And I've never had a person ever, once, talk to me and say, I'm looking for an RV with one of those, like, 5-piece TikTok sinks. I just don't know. I don't know that it's a thing. I could be wrong. All right, moving on from here. Working our way up. I like that kind of simulated floating step right there. That makes for a nice little flip-flop shop. Also, once again, the Montana details, the touches, the motion lighting, the magnet holdback for the entry door. I know a lot of people that will leave the door like that for transit and not have a problem. And once again, very downward dog-angled television so that when you're laying in bed, it don't wreck your neck. Up front here, again, this was a case of hits and misses. Like, when I look at this, holy crap, there's a lot of storage space in here. And you can do your washer dryery stuff on the right-hand side. Let me get you around the corner. Instead of taking my word for it, you could probably just see the hookups if I actually took 3 steps up here, and there you go. There's some nice little touch details, like obviously, quadruple dresser drawers in here. I really like whenever a manufacturer gives us a solution for laundry, even if it's small, something. But I noticed when I was opening these doors, I love that you can open the entire closet. That's super, super cool. But this floor plan, because it's so freaking huge in the living room, they had to squish the bedroom a little bit. And I had to smash these doors open against the bed, not the mattress, but the actual bed base. And it felt like I was going to break something. And it just feels like every time I get in the closet, I shouldn't have to smash it against the bed. It just felt like a little miss. The good news, I think there's probably a super easy solution that even somebody like me who's a complete nincompoop when it comes to tools could probably pull off. Now, a lot of these 2-bed, 2-baths don't offer king bed up front. Some do, some don't. This one does. They've gotten rid of the Cyclops window over the bed, and when it first came out, a lot of people really liked it. They're like, yay, more windows, more light. And I'm sure a lot of people still feel that way. But there became a bit of a discontent sentiment of people saying, man, when I wake up in the morning, my head is on fire because the sun is cooking me. So back to that workaround solution I was talking about for the closet. With the way these doors open, they bump into this wood decking. I would just shave a little semicircle, just a little bit, just a smidge out of that decking right there. And that will allow the door to squish against the mattress, not enough that you're ever going to feel like you're fighting with it. And you'll be able to get in and out of the closet just fine. Alternatively, if you go with a 60 by 80 queen bed, which I think is the option down in a Montana, you see how you can gain a lot of extra space around the bed regardless. Now, I'm glad I actually got down here. I didn't plan to do this, but you see your household and your USB outlets. Both sides of the bed actually have, there we go, these little stands that lock up in place. Apparently, you just got to get freaking friendly with them here. It's kind of like my wife doesn't hit me. She just has to get my attention sometimes. I'm joking. My wife, before somebody freaks out, my wife has never struck me. I probably have deserved it more than once, but that's, thankfully, we have a very healthy household. We talk, we use our words. Up front here, at a glance, I thought this toilet was going to fit me better, but my right elbow was bashing the door frame over there, right in the funny bone region. And again, we have stepped into thermofoil counters. But again, we do have that one-piece fiberglass shower. The headroom in here was just enough. I just fit in that shower, but I'm also wearing thick-soled shoes. So there's probably an extra inch that I would gain there if I pop these suckers off. And every room having its big XL Fajita Friday fume fighting fart fan. The thing is, if you're paying attention, hold on. Oops, sorry. Speaking of paying attention, I should pay attention. You might actually want to see that we do have dresser storage across from the bed here. Sorry, I opened it, and the only reason I remembered it is because I almost tripped on it just now. But what I was going to say is, if you're paying attention, because obviously I was not, this is a dual entry bed and bath. I don't love dual entry bed and baths. I feel like they maybe could have found a way to utilize more space without that, especially in a model that's already a 2-bed, 2-bath. I don't know that I need dual entry into that bathroom, but maybe there's an aspect of the RV design that I don't know, because I don't know everything. My wife will confirm. No one ever thinks about this. When I'm at my stores, when I'm recording this stuff, I have batteries hooked up to these RVs. Even though this RV is plugged in and has full shore power, you still need a charged battery on them to run these hydraulic slides. And I don't have that. And Keystone was kind enough to, it's like 7:30 at night at the time that I'm recording this. They're all gone. It's Friday. There is no tomorrow. I stayed here way late to get you this footage. And I'm not looking for special, oh wow, thanks Josh. No, that's just part of it. I volunteered to do that. Bish doesn't make me do that. I came up with that. But as a result, I do not have the ability to close the slides on this. So my apologies. What I can tell you is I've been in floor plans like this before, and I've seen this show play out before. This refrigerator, when it closes, the doors will come too close to all of this, and you're not going to be able to get that refrigerator open. So basically, when you're traveling in this one, you can use the bathrooms, and then you can use the slide switches, assuming you have a battery on the RV, to open it up to get to everything else. I love that, but hey, that's what she be, and I always want to try to give you all the information that I can. I don't expect there's going to be a lot of squawking and balking about this, but you want a dually. Let me throw you another idea. This RV, I'm going to explain more of why I mean this, but this RV is actually not a great RV for towing around a lot. Basically, this RV has a double drop frame. You're used to fifth wheels that have a drop frame front end on the chassis. Where that storage compartment is under the bedroom and bathroom up front. This has a second drop in the back for the rear bed, bath, and loft above. That means that with an RV this long, when the tail sticks out that far past the tires and the tail's lower to the ground, if you tow it a lot, this thing's probably going to look like a dog scraping its butt across the carpet, As a result, this is an RV I would recommend is best used at a destination facility. That being said, let me throw you another idea. Don't get a vehicle at all to tow this thing. Find yourself a site where you could leave this sucker parked, give our team a call. We can help arrange RV delivery straight to that site. Now, there's going to be a charge for that, certainly. But RV delivery could be the cost of one dually truck payment that you can now avoid. So keep in mind, there's different ways to skin this cat. Now down here, you've got that 2,000 watt sine inverter because this RV is equipped with that resi type fridge. The down below that, you've got this big red switch in the middle. That's your Gigi box, basically. It's a battery disconnect on steroids. But if you look down in this compartment, you can see a little bit of daylight peeking through. Those little perforations right there are kind of pre-punched in the event that you either want to gen prep this RV or actually have a factory installed generator installed in it. So that is something that is available here. This RV, frankly, almost feels like it could have used a third awning just because it's so freaking massive. But the two awnings you have aren't bad by any stretch. I think what I would probably do myself is back behind that slide where I don't have an awning, I'd probably get some kind of like easy up screen room, and I'd have an enclosed bug screen room where I'd put a picnic table, and then I would leave all this space out here for chairs and games and stuff like that. That's what I would do. The neighbors are going to love your music, whether they want to or not, because for you to hear these JBL speakers down here, you're going to have to crank it up to 11. Oh, yeah, my neighbors love listening to my music, whether they do or don't. The other day, I was listening to some music, and I played one song on infinite repeat just for like 3 days straight. I just loved that song. You ever just get hooked on a song like that? My neighbor loved it so much, they threw a brick through my window so they could hear it louder. And I was like, wow, those guys really like music. I'm not even going to be mad about that. Let's see. Over here on the left, by the way, notice how none of this is that felt carpety stuff. Like, this is like, what do I want to say, that fiberglassy kind of wall stuff right here. And you have that toy hauler rubberized coin style flooring. So if you have to throw wet stuff in here, obviously you still want to air it out, but it's not going to just soak in and mildew everything. You've got your central vac system, TV hookups in there. You also have a direct air heat vent down here in this basement cavity, and that will help you maintain more even comfortable temps, which is lovely. Now, something that's very easy to miss, between the entry door and the slide, there's a gas grill connection down here, right at the very back of that drop frame area. So it does have an outside grill location. On a rainy day, you could probably do some outside grilling over here under this big old awning. We have Cooper H-rated radial tires. You also have your MoRide CRE 3000 rubber shock dampening suspension package. And this has hydraulic slides on the lower deck and hydraulic 6-point auto leveling. But notice how they basically have the larger footprint pads built right on there. That is one of those things that if you have soft ground or something like that, because I mean, it's a freaking hoss, dude. It's heavy and it's huge. You need to kind of disperse the stress of that across the ground so that the landing gear doesn't sink in and settle over time after you are on this thing. The steps on the back here almost feel like they should have been a triple step, just because those legs stick out really far. Now, I don't know that the RV is, the technical phrase for this is dead nuts level. I don't know that the RV is dead nuts level, but it's eyeball level, and that thing's still long. And again, this just makes me go, really? The no privacy shades in the entry doors? 2 privacy shades on this RV, 1 for each door, would run, I don't know, $80 to $90. I cannot imagine a single person buying a full luxury Montana going, whoa, $80? Oh, that's the straw that broke the camel's back right there. That just feels like being a little penny wise and pound foolish. I could be totally wrong. That's an opinion. That's not like, well, Josh said it gotta be true, blah, blah, blah. I've never felt that way. This is a dual sewer outlet camper, though, because everything's so far apart. But remember, you have a full 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So this RV probably has 2 separate gray tanks, 2 separate black tanks, plus your freshwater supply. Chances are your freshwater is dwarfed a little bit by the total gray and black, but that's why. Again, though, I personally think this is an RV that'll probably be best utilized for a park use execution. I could be wrong. Some boondockers might be like, nope, love it. Anyway, we're going to circle back on some boondock stuff in a second. Actually, let's talk about it now. We've got the tankless, no, God bless it, I'm so used to saying that anymore, the traditional gas and electric water heater right here. And that is one of those things that boondockers do seem to be more preferential toward. Enclosed heated docking center, as we talked about earlier. The underbelly has holding tank heat pads. This is 0 to 100 degree rated, tested, proven. In case you're curious, like, what's that pink cylinder in the pass-through? That's a water, drinkable water filtration system there. But when it comes to boondock stuff, one of the major potential talking points is solar. Very quick flyby of the solar solutions that you have available on this. By default, 220 watts of solar with no actual inverter, theoretically standard. However, remember, the standard fridge on this does force a 2,000 watt inverter. If you go with the 12 volt fridge option, you lose that inverter on a base solar package. You can regain it by going to the 440 package. But if you keep going up the chain, Montana is one of the only members of the Keystone family that has like 1.32 kilowatt solar package or something like that, with lithium batteries and big inverter, can run some air conditioning stuff while you're untethered for a limited time. That's the caveat right there. And keep in mind, that is a massive fifth wheel with a lot of cubic foot of space. So you could still potentially drain and overpower those batteries unless you are going to custom DIY craft some big money solar solutions. If your goal is to camp untethered and have full function of like your air conditioning systems, you really still want a generator. And I know that means another fuel source, another maintenance item, but pound for pound, dollar for dollar, it's just the smartest, most direct, most effective way to go. But all those different things are available. Now, I've done several of these full 2-bed, 2-baths, but I have never done this one before. If you want to compare it to some stuff out there, keep in mind the other footage I have might be a little bit dated, but Paradigm, North Point, Solitude, maybe Influence, they all have some versions of this that are all good in different ways, truly, but it's just a matter of where you want to fall in the pecking order and the things you're looking for. Now, at the time I've recorded this again, they haven't yet changed the body size of this. I don't know that they're going to do this, but there's been a lot of talk around big Montana, not high country, but full Monty, about potentially going wide body. Will they do it? Won't they? I don't know. But depending on how long after you watch this, how do I want to say that? Depending on when you watch this, how long after I publish this you watch this. Oh my gosh, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. It may have happened by the time you watch this if I published it a long time ago. Wow, man, that took me 60 seconds to say 4 words. I think I'm going to go get hydrated. And short of that, thank you, everybody. I'll drop you a link to check pricing and availability. We'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and stay hydrated, everyone.